Islam Makhachev has not fought in like 6 months. It's been 6 months since he's fought. And not only that, it doesn't seem like he's going to fight until October, or he might not even fight in October, bro. So if you guys are paying attention to the post-fight press conference after after UFC 289, Dana White said that he wanted to make Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev. And when somebody asked him and said, "Hey, Dana, what if not Islam's not on board with that?" And Dana said, "Well, we don't even know what's going on with Islam. He's apparently in medicals. So if you don't know what medicals is, that means that Islam Makhachev is currently hurt." Now, for a champion, one of the things that a lot of the Dagestani dudes have been criticized for is their lack of fighting, man. So today we're going to be talking about what's going on with Islam Makhachev and what's next for Islam Makhachev. So Islam currently, again, the 155-pound champ in UFC, beat Charles Oliveira last October, beat Volkanovski. I think that was in February, right? January or February? I think that was February, because I know it was January because John Jones fought in February. It was somewhere in there. Y'all know where it was. I don't know where it was. My brain don't like to work sometimes, man. But yeah, Islam Makhachev is in a weird position for a champion, man. Just because of the simple fact, he's probably going to have to either rematch Charles Oliveira or Volkanovski, which are both fights he does not seem like he wants to do. He just doesn't seem like he want to do that. Or he's going to get the winner of Justin Gaethje versus Dustin Poirier, which I'm pretty sure he wants to do that. Yeah, he probably beat both of them, man. I do give Justin a little bit better chance than Dustin, but yeah, I think he beats both of them. So yeah, and then also, he's just taking a long break, bro. Usually you want your champions fighting like 3 times a year. With the Dagestani dudes, we saw it with Khabib when he was champion. These dudes really only fight once, if maybe twice a year, if that, man. And it seems like Islam is hurt, so he's probably not going to fight at the very least until like October in Abu Dhabi, which is just crazy. From fighting in January to October, that's like a 10-month stretch, which is wild. And you see Volkanovski's fighting again in a couple weeks, man. So let's break down what Islam's next matchups are going to be and how he fares against them. So the first one for me, and the one that seems the most likely at 155, is going to be Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira 2. Now, with this fight, I think a lot of people, particularly from the first Charles Oliveira fight, they overdo how much Islam beat him up, right? Like, and I'm not saying that Islam didn't dominate him, particularly in that second round. But in that first round, if you go and rewatch that first round of Islam versus Charles is the one who pulled guard. It wasn't like Islam either stopped the takedown and then got in his guard, or he shot his own takedown, or he shot the takedown and got him on the ground. Charles was the one who pulled guard in that fight. Like, he pulled guard. And with him pulling guard, he still did a really good job off his back. Islam was never able to pass his guard, which is great for any of it. It's hard for those to stop those Dagestani dudes from doing that. Even in the Volkanovski fight, we saw it where Islam was able to pass Volkanovski's guard. Charles was landing strikes off his back. Charles was able to get up off of his back, and he was able to stop Islam from taking him down on the side of the cage, man. So again, I'm not going to argue that Charles had like the amazing fight. Like, that's not the case. But a lot of people overdo just how bad he got beat up. Now the second round was a demolition. So yeah, but 2 things that have happened in that fight: 1, the Volkanovski fight, and 2, Charles Oliveira seems like he's himself again, man. In that fight, he came out wild, which I think was a combination. Call him the culmination of all of his other fights, where you just see him from the Dustin fight to the Justin fight just getting wilder and wilder and it working out. It just didn't work out in that fight. So I do believe he's going to come out a lot more calm in this second fight. And 2, the Volkanovski fight probably gave a lot of 155ers hope that they could beat Islam Makhachev and that he's not Khabib, bro. Because we all thought, well, not we, but a lot of you guys thought that he was just going to run through Volkanovski. And with Volk, not only putting on the type of fight he did on the feet, but particularly on the ground. Because when it comes to the Dagestani dudes, that's the thing everybody worries about. I believe that a lot of the 155ers, in particular Charles Oliveira, with his striking and his jiu-jitsu, is going to be able to give Islam hell in this second fight, man. Again, I'm excited for this one. This is the one I want to see. There is another fight that could possibly happen there's another fight that'll be a rematch that can happen, man. Now, apparently, this was actually supposed to be happening again. Like, I didn't know this. Apparently, the UFC told Volkanovski that, hey, yeah, you guys can fight again. Like, you can get an immediate rematch for the 155 title. You'll just have to wait until December. And Volkanovski, being the absolute champ that he is, just was like, nah, I just go fight Yair, bro. So, yeah, Volkanovski versus Islam 2 is another fight I'm excited to see. I do believe that Islam will have a better fight this time than he did in the first time. And the reason is, I just think he underestimated Volkanovski. I truly believe that is the case. And that's not me taking anything away from Volk. Volk had an amazing fight, but I truly believe that like come the second or third round, Islam Makhachev was like, oh, this is going to be a lot tougher than I thought it was. Like, you could even see it on his face a little bit. He was like, oh, I thought I was going to get this dude out of here in like 2 to 3 rounds, and he's still fighting back. So, yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm excited to see how much Islam tries to use his grappling in this one, because even in the first fight, he didn't try to attack a lot of takedowns. He really only went for them where they were there. I want to see if he goes to try to attack takedowns this fight. I want to see if he tries to get Volk up against the cage. If he tries to not strike at space with Volkanovski, bro. Even though Islam's striking was very, very good in that first fight, a lot of his knockdowns came from range, bro. And on the flip side of that, I want to see how Volk just counters like Islam's range. We saw Islam was able to knock him down multiple times. Islam was able to put hands on him, and particularly the height advantage and those knees in the clinch were doing a lot of damage for Islam Makhachev, man. Now, in my opinion, this is the one I at least want to see again, just because I think there's a lot of business that both can handle in their own divisions, particularly with Islam Makhachev, bro. You got guys like Arman Sarukian who can't get a fight at 155. You got the Justin versus Dustin fight, which again, we're going to talk about that one in a minute. You got a lot of really interesting options at 155. And for Volk, I would love to see this versus Volk. And it seems like the UFC is kind of trying to set up a Charles versus Volk fight. I feel like they want Charles to win so they can get that Charles versus Volk fight, which will do a gazillion pay-per-views, man. So I believe the current order, the way the UFC wants it, Islam versus Islam versus Charles, Islam versus Volk 2 if he wins that one. If not, you get Charles versus Volk. And then Justin Gaethje, the winner of Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier versus the winner of whoever comes out of those fights, man. And the one thing you have learned about MMA, it is a weird world, bro, because anytime there's a close fight, people are going to call for an immediate rematch, man. But I've said it before, I think Justin stands a better chance against Islam Makhachev just because of his defensive grappling, man. Now, you're going to say, well, Khabib took Justin down. Khabib took everybody down. Like, that's Khabib. And if you haven't learned anything, Islam Makhachev and Khabib Nurmagomedov are two completely different fighters, bro. Islam has significantly better striking, but his wrestling so far is not as dominant as Khabib's was, bro. Like, we saw that in the Thiago Moises fight where it took him a while to really just dominate Thiago Moises, man. Now, of course, he came out and was like, man, I was just wanting to go 4 rounds, but nobody's willingly going to go 4 rounds. It just doesn't happen like that, man. So, yeah, they're in a weird position whoever wins this fight because they're going to have to wait a while for a title shot, which I know neither one cares about. Justin has been very vocal about the fact that he does only have like 3 or 4 fights left where he wants to fight. So I'm rooting for Justin. I think it'd be a better fight than Dustin Poirier versus Islam Makhachev. I think Islam would just beat Dustin Poirier by out-grappling him, and I think it's significantly harder to out-grapple Justin Gaethje. And then on the feet, Justin is going to put hands on Islam. I'm not going to lie, bro. So, yeah, that's my prediction for what's going on with Islam Makhachev. But I just don't know. Like, he hasn't fought in, like, 6 months. It doesn't seem like he's going to fight before October. And then even after October, he's going to take probably another, 4 or 5 months. So he's probably not going to fight until March of next year. And then he has Ramadan, which he's going to take most of the summer off the fast and all that. And then you're going to come back like October. This is why we like Charles with the belt. I am a little biased. I don't care. I don't care. This is why we like Charles with the belt, bro. Because of the fact that Charles fought 3 times in like 9 months. 3 times like 10 months, 11 months, something crazy like that, bro. And I'm just a fan of active fighters. It's the reason I don't complain about the way that Israel Adesanya fights, bro, because 1, it keeps them active, so we get a lot of title fights, and 2, you just get to see them more. You gotta remember, bro, these MMA dudes, their primes aren't that long. Like, you may get like 5 or 6 years at the top of the world, bro. So, yeah, with that being said, though, that's what my thoughts on what's going to happen with Islam Makhachev and just sort of what's happening with the 155 division. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm out, man.